Remember New Year's Eve? We celebrated the start of a new year and a new decade with energy, optimism, vision, and plans. There was so much we were going to do this year. I'd launched a virtual mastermind program in October, and by January 1st, the 12 women in that program were already celebrating a head start on this year, happy with what they'd already achieved even before the new decade began. I myself was crashing. I'd been pushing myself ruthlessly to launch that program through physical pain, discouragement, numbness, as long as I could. I had no idea what it was costing me until, exhausted, depleted, heavy-hearted, I was forced to stop. I had no choice but to step back from the marketing machine I had built myself that I was now caught up in. I had to get quiet and listen to my body and the still small voice within me. And I have been there ever since. 3 months of emotional rehab for this workaholic for whom it was never enough. I finally had permission to rest. Today, just 3 months later, we're all being forced to this stop. In a matter of weeks, dreams have been shattered, hopes smashed, jobs lost, portfolios depleted, and the very fabric of our global society is torn from end to end. Do you feel what I feel? If you took time right now to name your feelings just through the past week, which of these would you choose? Fear, anxiety, anger, sadness, inertia, panic, despair, paralysis, restlessness, fatigue, appreciation maybe, tension, hope, empathy, excitement, relief even? Well, I could say I have felt them all. And this week I finally realized the experience that I'm having as grief. Something I had first named really 25 years ago when my mother was dying. That heavy, weary, foggy, pointless feeling that penetrates your entire being, body, mind, spirit, and heart, and stops you in your thick, sticky tracks. And what I am witnessing now in my clients, my students, my friends around the globe is a collective grief for life as we knew it, which is suddenly, abruptly gone. So what can you expect in times of coronal viral grief? Swiss-American psychiatrist Elizabeth Kubler-Ross proposed 5 stages of grief, which she observed in patients with terminal illness. Kubler-Ross's stages are not necessarily proven or linear, but I believe they can help us now to make sense of our not-so-brave new world as we grieve our lifetime experience of normal. Stage 1 is denial. This can't be true. It's not as bad as they say. It's a hoax. It's happening to them, but it could never happen to me. When your mind simply can't make sense of this much change this fast, it's natural to reject it, doubt it, project it outside yourself. Being certain this could not be happening to you gives you comfort for a while. Until stage 2, anger. When denial fails, as is happening very quickly now, anger is likely to follow. It's a foreign bias. It's their fault. It's man-made. It's a conspiracy. You feel anxious, irritable, and frustrated. You're angry at the systems that allowed this, the unfairness of it all, and the sheer inconvenience just when you were about to launch your dream project. You may be looking for people to blame. Stage 3, depression. Then it sinks in. Life will never look the way it did. There's nothing I can do to change it. Everything I counted on is now in question. Where do I turn? My world is crashing down on me. What's the point of even trying? Nothing I will do now is going to make a difference anyway. And I'm so tired. The reality is overwhelming, and you feel acutely the powerlessness of one human being against an invisible, earth-shattering enemy. Stage 4, bargaining. Like a drowning person gasping for air, you lunge forward with resistance. If only I boost my immune system, I keep away from crowds, stay in the country house, then I'll be okay. I won't get this thing. So far, I don't know anyone personally who has it, so God's watching over me. It's surely the end day, so I know I'll be safe in the end. But the results are short-lived. Your fate is the same. So how can you make meaning from it? Stage 5, acceptance. In the end, what happens next is just a choice. Continue to suffer, fighting, resisting, denying, blaming, or accept reality. Once that choice is made, a deep inner calm sets in. Okay, this is it. Now what? What will I do with this inarguable reality? Who will I become through it? What will my life look like on the other side? Once you can accept what you can't change, you can gather your energy to change what you can. If you don't, the crisis deepens. So what do we do now? The first time I was housebound for 4 months was in 2009 when I broke my hip. I had returned to Nice, where I had an apartment, from England the night before. And that afternoon, with low blood sugar from not eating, I headed out to buy groceries. I misjudged the height of the curb across from my apartment, and I landed directly on the concrete on my hip. I tried to have faith, but my leg was dangling beneath me. I waited for the paramedics to arrive, and with shock setting in, I thought to myself, okay, if this is what's next, let's go. I chose it. That choice transformed the quality of my life for the rest of that very difficult year. We too are in for a difficult year. The world is in crisis. Leaders around the world are scrambling to try to prevent all-out chaos. People are dying. What can we do individually to take care of ourselves and to ensure the human race emerges whole? There is guidance in the Wheel of Creativity, my 12-stage framework of transformation, which I'd like to share with you now in 5 simple points. The wheel maps the process you will go through when anything in your life is ending, and you're called to create what's next from its remnants. The first point is what I call home. Home is normal. It's the status quo. It represents all that is known, comfortable, predictable, controlled, and stable. It's your comfort zone. And let's face it, we'd all stay there if we could. But when something happens internally or externally that destabilizes you, something, hunger, calls you forward and launches you into a transformational creative cycle. This cycle takes you through what I've named as 12 stages as you make your way from life as you knew it to life as it could be. Some of these stages are easier than others, but they're all required. Point 2, crisis. Halfway through this creative cycle, when you finally believe that what you long for, your dream, your vision, your new life, is just within reach, then comes the perfect storm. Out of the blue, unexpected, no way to have prepared for it, something crashes down on top of you so violently that you feel completely out of control. In this moment of panic, survival deepens on your letting go of everything. Survival depends on your letting go of everything to focus on this moment. And when you finally do, in flows the crystal clarity that shows you the way through. Point 3, chaos. That kind of letting go creates space. What remains when life has blown the roof off of your home? In chaos, everything is unknown, uncomfortable, unpredictable, uncontrolled, and unstable. It is the opposite of home. But it is also, as science tells us, the birthplace of all new life. Here is where we must begin again, when the past we loved can no longer be recycled. Point 4, dissolution. If it all feels a bit rocky at the moment, don't be surprised. Creation and destruction are inextricably linked. The entire first half of the creative cycle, from home to chaos, is the dissolution of life as you knew it. Life brings you to the end of what you thought you knew, so that you can create something new. It leaves you there, waiting in the gaping void of chaos, vulnerable and open to receive. This is not the end. Point 5, creation. From chaos, from this place where you are left with the roof off your house, you begin the second half of the creative cycle. If you were able to capture the seed in crisis, something new in that crystal clarity that you get when you let go, something new, unforeseen, unimagined, this is how you begin the growing process. 6 more stages are required, the second half of that creative cycle, to grow that seed into a viable new business, creative work, social enterprise, healthy body, system, whatever it is for you. You're making your way to a new normal. As you complete the cycle, you return home to a place that is comfortable and known with something entirely new. Not only for yourself to nourish and feed that hunger that launched you, but also for the community in which you participate. And you yourself are transformed by this process. What I want to share with you right now, and what I hope you will see in this cycle, is that where you find yourself today is not the end. Reality is changing almost every day, and we do not know where we're headed. The sooner you accept that and focus on the things you can change, the more time you have to create a reality that nourishes you. What I want to share with you now is the power of this grief to pivot from what was to what could be. Now is the time to be conscious and deliberate about how we use our collective grief. How can you use this global crisis experience and begin to create something with it? Here are 5 suggestions. GRIEF. 1, give this time. Whatever you're feeling right now is okay. Any of those feelings and anything that was not on that list. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath and accept your response right now in this moment. Your body, your mind, your heart are making sense of the nonsensical. Give them time. 2, respect the process. Know that you are going through a process, and the timing of it depends on more than you can control. You will feel waves of many kinds of feelings, and they are all to be embraced. 3, inhale the life around you. Make space in your days for new ways of doing things, for feelings, for strength, for rest, for self-care. Set limits around your devices. Connect virtually with people who nourish you. Walk in nature. Embrace change, number 4. Choose this now. Educate yourself about the cause of this collective grief. Develop new skills. Empower yourself for whatever comes. Step into the technologies that allow you to stay connected now and to do your work in new ways. 5, forge ahead. This entire world is in a major reset right now, and we have little choice but to reset our lives too. How you do that, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, and physically, will determine who you become through it and what your life looks like on the other side. The quality of your life today and what your life looks like when we are through this process lies in the balance. To connect with your own inner resilience during this time, I'd like to invite you to download my free daily centering meditation and use it once a day, every day for the next 7 days. Join me daily this week on Facebook Live for further support. Thank you for spending this time with me and listening to my perspective on our situation. I would love to hear your perspective, your experience, your needs, your inspirations in the comments. Take good care. I'm Catherine.